Hello and welcome to the fortress. Well, actually, welcome to the Rila Monastery. The monastery is sandwiched between a near vertical mountain cliff on one side and a near vertical drop on the other, and there is only one way in and one way out. As I approached, I had the feeling that there was an equal chance of getting a blessing out of those walls or an arrow between the eyes. The monastery has a long and colorful history. The original monastery was set up by the followers of John of Rila as a place where to stay while learning from the holy men. John of Rila was born in 876. He was ordained as a priest at 25 years old, but then chose the ascetic life of a hermit. As his fame as a holy man and healer spread across the Balkans, Tsar Peter I of Bulgaria made the journey to the Rila Mountains, hoping to see the holy hermit. As the story goes, the Tsar sent gifts of food and gold to John. John accepted the food and distributed it among the people, but sent back the gold. John advised the ruler that a hermit has no use for gold, unlike kings that should use it to protect and care for the people. John of Rila travelled quite a bit after his passing. This was the time of the cult or veneration of the relics. Relics were objects, bodies or body parts that belonged to or were associated with the Christ, the Holy Mary, disciples, apostles and saints. People would travel long distances to visit a church holding an important relic, and hosting such a relic was a great honor. Not to mention also a source of revenue as people flocked in from near and far. So the body of John of Rila went to Sofia. Then King Bela III, the king of Hungary, took it to Ostrogom, probably around the 1180s. Then King Hassan in 1194 decided that his capital, Veliko Tarnovo, would be a much better resting place for the relic. After Veliko Tarnovo fell to the Ottoman Empire, the body was moved back to Rila. The monastery itself had a difficult life too. It was raided by bandits numerous times, burned, destroyed, rebuilt, had its lands confiscated, returned and confiscated again. It survived the coming and going of empires thanks to some very skillful diplomacy and a few powerful patrons. As you enter, you are greeted by a large yard, which is surrounded by the living quarters built against the monastery walls.
Outside the cathedral itself, you can see some of the
The church is the center of attention. It was built in the 19th century. The frescoes are the work of artists from the Bansko, Razlog and Samokov schools of iconography. There is a lot of decoration. this is an interesting icon. This is an icon of the Archangel Michael. He is dressed a bit like a Roman commander-in-chief. After all, he is the leader of the army of God. Here he is holding a sword in one hand and a soul in the other. He decides if the good deeds outweigh the bad deeds, and therefore if the soul should be sent to heaven or cast down to the waiting devils. The lower level of the frescoes depicts scenes from hell, scenes of sinners being tormented by devils, ravaged by pests, and ultimately being munched on by a monster. And yet, it seems that the worst thing of all is that you are going to be naked when all these terrible things are happening. You cannot film inside the church, but the monastery's website has a virtual tour. Links in the description below. The inside of the church showcases some amazing iconography and gold work. The only surviving structure from the Middle Ages is this, the Rila Tower. Rila was a local lord and benefactor of the monastery and paid for the tower to be built. The tower has a dark history. The Serbian Tsar Stefan Dusan went on a bit of a tour of the Balkans and expanded his domain to include Rila's lands and the city of Melnik, video coming soon. Rila did pledge allegiance to Dusan, but Dusan was not convinced, and according to local sources, assassins paid by Dusan entered the tower under the cover of night and killed Rila in 1342. The Rila Monastery is a very important religious center, but also a literary center. Since very early in the life of the monastery, the monks played a vital role in preserving Bulgarian history and literature. St. Paisios of Ilanda visited the monastery while doing the research for his book of Bulgarian history, Historia Slaviano-Bolgarskaya. The monastery also provided shelter to major figures in the Bulgarian liberation movement, including Vasil Levski. And of course, you can pick up some tasty souvenirs. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, that would be great. I publish this type of videos in English on Tuesdays, Italian on Wednesdays, and in Bulgarian on Thursdays. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.
Shop.